I'm finding my favorite espresso in the Bay Area. Previously, I went to 25 shops in the San Jose and Peninsula region. Now I'm starting round 1 in the East Bay. Let's dive in. For the first set, I'm in Berkeley, home of the flagship of the University of California and lots of excellent coffee. First up is Artie's Coffee, a beautiful and spacious shop in Northwest Berkeley. Oh wow, it smells like just rich but balanced at the same time. That is a very balanced coffee flavor. There's definitely some fruit, but that's tempered by a sort of roastiness, like a warm, very pleasant roastiness. A roasted chestnut, where it kind of becomes sweet. That's nice. For a more heavily roasted espresso, this is really, really good to me. I get some blueberry, a little bit of maybe lemon, something a little more tart. There's definitely a sweetness that comes through. But again, it's sort of, the sweetness is like situated inside of a roasty shell in a way. The texture is quite nice. It's actually a little bit more thin than what I usually go for, but combined with this flavor profile, I think it's the perfect texture for what this is. The aftertaste is a little bit on the bitter side, which is what I would expect from a more heavily roasted coffee, but it's not overly unpleasant. Yeah, this is good. I'm surprised by how much I'm enjoying this. Next is Peet's Coffee. It's one of the most well-known coffee companies that started in the Bay Area. Their original shop on Vine and Walnut in Berkeley is still open, and it was so busy when I was filming that it took a good 10 minutes to get a shot of the outside without a bunch of people walking through. The coffee is certainly popular. How does it taste? It's a very tangy scent. Almost salty. Oh wow. The texture is so soft. It's like velvet. It's velvety on my tongue. That's really interesting. The flavor is very delicate. It's not very loud. The first thing I notice is the texture, and it really takes a while for the flavor to set in, which is kind of nice because it is a darker roasted espresso. That's Peet's is all about their dark roasted coffees, and it's really nice to not be blasted in the face with that dark roast flavor. I've never experienced a dark roast being so subtle. There's actually a lot of sweetness, some kind of deeper fruit flavors like a plum or an apricot maybe. Apricot? 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 Yeah, delicate is the word that keeps coming up for me. Is delicate, soft, words that I don't normally associate with dark roasts. That's surprising. I'm really enjoying this. Heading toward downtown is Way Station Brew. Brew has a double meaning here because they also have a beer garden in the back when outdoor dining is allowed. It smells fruity. Ooh, yeah. It has a bright and sweet acidity up front, almost like a cherry or a really sweet raspberry. There's definitely a tangy quality too. It's very lively. There's just a hint of like a tobacco smoky flavor. It's very subtle, but it adds dimension to the flavor in a way that I'm really enjoying. And this definitely has the most going on in the flavor out of the 3 that I've tried so far. Just lively, like there's a lot of different things that are vying for my attention in this espresso. And that's something that I look for, that I enjoy. The texture is quite pleasant as well. It coats my tongue. It's not too heavy. It's not like sticky. It's just rich, full-bodied. Yeah, that's nice. Cafe Strata is a favorite of UC Berkeley students and can get super crowded during non-COVID times. The few times I went before the pandemic, it was standing room only. It felt like trying to order a drink in a crowded club. How does it taste? This is a gigantic portion. It's really a lot of espresso. I mean, this is like a full latte cup, like 12 ounces, and it's probably that much filled. A third of the way, it's a third of 4 ounces. It smells kind of nutty, not overly roasty, kind of subtle. The taste is pretty subtle as well. This is interesting. Again, there's like a delicate, soft quality to it, almost like Peet's. This does have more flavor. It's less delicate, I guess, than Peet's, but it's of a similar quality. There's a really smooth, velvety texture, sort of that roasted chestnut, maybe almost walnut flavor. It's kind of a sweet, roasty quality. The texture here is a little bit more toward what I would call chalky, which to me is a good texture. I like that. A little bit less soft and velvety, but it's still like very soft and velvety. I'm just comparing it to Peet's, which was the absolute extreme of that velvety texture. It's super well balanced. It's very difficult for me to pick out any individual flavor note except for those nuts. There's definitely stuff going on, it's subtle. That is good. I can imagine this going really well in milk drinks. Okay, let's talk winners. This set was really interesting. These 4 places had some of the most interesting textures that I've ever explored. They were all tasting a little bit more like toward darker roasts, not super dark, but there was a lot of that kind of roasted chestnut or walnut, nutty roastiness, but there was a lot of delicateness as well, both in the flavor and in the textures. It was really interesting. I was the most surprised by Pete's, just with that super delicate velvety texture and a really unoffensive roasty flavor. Usually a dark roast or something that tastes really roasty is so loud. It's so overwhelming with that roasty quality that it's almost hard for me to enjoy. I tend to prefer the lighter roasts, the more intense flavors. That one definitely surprised me. If I had to pick a favorite, it would be Waystation, just because it had the most going on. Like, it grabbed my attention really well. There were a lot of different flavors that I could pick out, and it just had the most complexity, and it held my interest longer than any of the other shots did. Set 2 brings me to 4 roasters in North Oakland and South Berkeley, starting with Highwire Coffee. It's in a lively neighborhood with plenty of food options nearby. How's the coffee? Ooh, interesting. It smells really sweet. Ooh, wow. It is really sweet. I'm getting a ginger snap flavor. It has a good acidity. It's kind of tangy up front. Definitely not too much. Not even the most bright of the ones that I've tried so far, but it's nice. It has a strong opening. A little bit of floral notes. Oh, it's a cool car. A little bit of lemon or lemon zest. There's a lot of clarity. It goes down smooth even though there's a lot going on. Yum. Up the street is Cole Coffee. It used to be called Royal Coffee, but now there's another shop by that name that we'll see later in this video. Let's taste. It smells like the archetype of espresso to me. It's nutty. It's a darker roast than I thought when I smelled it. It's not so dark that all you can taste is the roast, but it noticeably has that sort of nutty, a little bit richer, kind of chocolatey flavor to it. It almost feels reserved. I don't know what that means. It's well balanced, but it's not like all of the flavors are loud. It's all of the flavors are a little bit like played down. I imagine this would mix well in a milk drink. It just has that nutty, roasty, kind of typical espresso flavor. Crossing into Berkeley, Souvenir Coffee has a beautiful shop on Claremont. Ooh, yeah, wow, that smells really balanced. Ooh, nice. This has more of what I would call a sour flavor, which is something that I really like. I don't know if other people call this flavor sour, but that's the word I've been using. It's tangy. It has a little bit of like an earthy, very light lemongrass. It's not very grassy. It's more lemon than grass, but it has sort of an earthy tartness. It feels clean, fresh, really easy to drink. There's some sweetness in there too, like a tart sort of berry, like a blueberry. That's yummy. Alchemy Collective Cafe and Roaster is an actively inclusive shop in South Berkeley. It's also across the street from a good record shop. It smells almost buttery, like that classic espresso sourness, but with a little bit of a buttery tint to it. Ooh, wow. It tastes super fresh. Right away, that's the first thing I notice. So fresh. Like, it's earthy, a little bit of that lemongrass, almost wheat flavor. There's a good sweetness too. Kind of like a floral sweetness, like a rose water maybe. It has a brightness to it. A little bit of acidity, like a good acidity. The mouthfeel is really unique. It feels almost round on my tongue. There's a lot of interplay between different elements of the flavor profile. It feels very lively on my tongue. The aftertaste is actually quite pleasant as well. It fades into that sweetness. That's good. Okay, let's talk winners. There was a lot of good espresso today. A lot of crisp, clean, clear flavors. Really well pulled shots. Cole had a little bit more of that dark roast, kind of toasted nut flavor, which is good, like they did it well, but it's still not quite my thing. Souvenir and Alchemy were Both pretty close to what I would consider my archetype of what espresso is. They had a healthy amount of sour in the flavor profile, which is really nice. They both tasted really fresh and clean and crisp. But for me, the most unique was Highwire. It had that sort of ginger snap, spicy cookie sweetness to it. It was really unique and interesting. And I notice it's the one that I'm most excited to go back to. Like, I really want more of that right now, even after having 4 espressos. And for that reason, Highwire wins it for me.
Set 3 takes me to 4 roasters near downtown Oakland, starting with Timeless Coffee on Piedmont. They claim to be the only 100% plant-based coffee roastery and bakery in the industry, and I will say, the vegan chocolate cake donut I had was excellent. But how's the coffee?
Oh, nice. That smells like a classic espresso. Kind of that rich, earthy vibe. Ooh. Oh, this is unique. There's sort of a warm sweetness. What is that like? Like a lemon bar. There's a noticeable acidity, but it's very sweet and kind of soft in texture as well. There's a little bit of a sweet kind of almond, that Blue Moon ice cream sort of vibe. There's not quite as much going on at the very base of it, but the head is that lemon bar tartness. The mids is the sweet almond Blue Moon flavor. The texture is really pleasant. It's thicker than most, and it feels like it's coating my tongue really well, but it's like soft. It's not heavy. It's just coating my tongue, and it's also soft somehow. Really cool and unique. Yeah, the texture is almost like a mousse or a meringue, like those whipped desserts. It's really interesting. I've never experienced that in an espresso before.
The Crown is called a coffee lab and tasting room for Royal Coffee, who are best known as a supplier to coffee shops throughout the US and worldwide.
It smells balanced. I'm not getting any specific flavor, but I'm getting a lot of stimulation. Ooh, wow. Oh, that's fascinating. There's an earthy sweetness to it, but it's very clear, like crisp and clean, almost like a blueberry with a little bit of lemongrass. A sort of blueberry lemon, like tart sweetness. It finishes so clean. It's like you get that blueberry lemon flavor up front. It sits there for a little bit, and then there's almost no aftertaste. So clean. Really makes you want to drink more. You know, even though there's that lemongrass flavor, it has very little acidity, almost no bite at the top. It's really smooth. It feels like round as a mouthfeel. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it feels round on my tongue. There's just a hint of like a cookie dough flavor at the top. Kind of behind the blueberry lemon, there's like a little bit of extra doughy sweetness. It's pretty light as a mouthfeel too. Just really easy to drink. Yeah, clean is the overwhelming impression that I'm getting. That's nice. I could drink a lot more of this.
Closer to the city center is Awaken Cafe. It's a striking, narrow building tucked against a backdrop of skyscrapers.
It smells nutty, but delicate at the same time. A little bit of floral notes coming through at the top. That's tasty. It's more of like a classic espresso. It fits my archetype of espresso pretty well. It's got a good balance of flavors, solid acidity up front, and then a lot of stuff going on in the mid-range, good base. It has kind of like a lemongrass sort of tartness to it. It's balanced, and it's pretty delicate. Subtle flavors. There's nothing really too bold. Yeah, that's just a well-rounded experience. It's almost difficult to pick out specific flavor notes because it's so well balanced. Like there's sweetness, there's tartness, there's like floral qualities, there's a little bit of a nutty quality. There's a good sourness. I really like the way that this is using sourness to complement the other flavors. It's quite tasty.
Blue Bottle rivals Peet's for the most famous Bay Area coffee company. It started as a coffee delivery service based out of an Oakland garage before growing into the global brand it is today. I'm at their shop in Old Oakland and Chinatown. Let's taste.
Ooh, dang, that smells good. Ooh, so rich. Smells like caramely, sweet. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. That is really sweet. It's rich. It's almost syrupy how sweet and rich and thick it is. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a little bit of a bright It's almost spicy at the front, that acidity. But I mean, even as I'm moving it around in the cup, I can see that it is thick as a liquid. It's thick as a mouthfeel. It's like molasses or like a gingerbread batter. Yeah, that spiced quality is really interesting. It's like a nutmeg, almost. It feels very wintry. Wow, that is very good. All right, let's talk winners. This one is really hard to judge. All 4 of these shots were really, really good and pretty different from one another too. So it's difficult to compare them. It's almost like apples to oranges. Awaken, The Crown, and Timeless were all sort of more archetypal espressos to me. They fit what my expectation is, but they were all pretty different from each other. Hard to even describe. It's hard to describe the differences because they were so good. They were different, but it's hard to pick out exactly how. They all had a really good balance of flavor, great texture. They're all delicious, and I will totally be back to all of them. But Blue Bottle, for me, was so different and distinct. It had that syrupy texture, molassesy, ginger-spiced flavor. It was so fascinating and so different and unique. It's the one that I felt the most excited about when I first sipped it. And for that reason, I'm gonna say the Blue Bottle wins this one for me.
The winners of sets 1 through 3 are Waystation, Highwire, and Blue Bottle. Next, I'll continue through round 1 in the East Bay region, heading a bit more south and to a few more non-roasters. There's been so much good coffee already, and I'm excited to find even more. Stay tuned for more, and thank you for exploring with me.